Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Aqueduct Racetrack here on Friday. It is the 1st of January 2021. Gonna look at the 8th race from Aqueduct, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. And 2021, start of a new year, hopefully it's just not as bad as 2020. I think it's going to be, the next few months are going to be a little, dire with the COVID going around, especially here in New York City. It's where it's going up really bad very quickly again. But it's going to be a crap couple weeks, but I think it's going to get better as the year goes on. And I think we could end 2021 quite high up again. But so it's just stick to it. It's going to be a bumpy ride, but I think the outcome's going to be fun. But good card today from Aqueduct. Usually the opening day or New Year's Day feature in my time was always the Interborough. The Interborough is still run, but I believe at the end of the month. But the last few years they've been running the Jerome, and it's it's a good return to the races for the 3-year-olds in Derby Trail. But let's get to the 8th race from Aqueduct, which is the Jerome Stakes. Purse $150,000, race for 3-year-olds. Field of 5 horses going to the main track because we have no turf racing until hopefully March, but most likely April. But they're going the distance of ground is 1,600 meters or a mile on the Aqueduct main track. 1,600 meters, 1 mile here of the Jerome, which talking about in my time again, because I'm trying to figure out, it's going to be 20 years later this year that I really got into horse racing with Tisnow and the Breeders' Cup and stuff. But I think I've deserved to say in my time, even though people are like, oh yeah, in my time, some people might be skip away, but in my time, Ferdinand, in my time, Secretariat, but in my time, the Jerome used to be run at Belmont, the second weekend of the fall championship meeting, when there was a fall championship meeting at Belmont. Got rid of that a few years ago. And also, this race used to be known as when it was run here at Aqueduct, there used to be the race called the Cow Fleet, which was named after a very good Triple Crown winner from the 1920s, 1919, somewhere around there. But the Cow Fleet, if you remember, Smarty Jones won that race. Then went on to win the Arkansas Derby and went on to win the Derby and Preakness. So and I was there when he won the Count Fleet here at Aqueduct in 2004. So this race is sometimes good, sometimes not so formidable for the Derby. But as a top selection, as I'm going off on tangents, we'll go with the 2-horse Swill as a top selection. We'll go 2, 4, 3, 5 in the superfecta, 2, 4, 3, 5 super. Top selection, 2-horse Swill. A 3-year-old filly by Munnings. Kendra Carmouche gets the mount. Brad Cox trains. The horse is most recent out and came 8th of November at Churchill, mile 16th in the Kentucky Jockey Club, and he finished 4th by 4.5 lengths there, and he snapped back early, a little bit of a turn of foot, but it wasn't anything spectacular. That race is very tough. It always comes up in years past. Stepping down in class to a 1-turn mile here in New York against lesser quality horses, I think he could really run a good race. 2 back in the main special weight 75K at Churchill, 7 furlongs September the 24th. He won by 3 lengths there and basically sat on the front and all throughout, and he just kept going. That was a very good run. Keep in mind the second place finisher was a next start out winner, and then prior to that, Saratoga, 15th of August, 6.5 main special weight 72,000. He finished 5th by 9.5 lengths there, and he just kind of couldn't get into it. It had a very quirky trip. It wasn't his day to win. Go watch the replay because it was just very, very quirky. And then prior to that, Keelan, 6 furlongs main special weight 69,000. He finished second by 8.5 lengths. He stalked that day, a little bit of a turn of foot, but it wasn't anything spectacular. Training well at Belmont, training well at Churchill, stepping down in class at 7 to 5. He's a very likely winner. So single him in the multi-race. So to recap my selection for the 8th from Aqueduct, it is the Jerome Stakes. I'm going to take the 2-horse Swill. We'll go 2, 4, 3, 5 in the superfecta, single the 2 in the multi-race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5. Good luck, everybody.